Today I'm doing a close-up study of a mouth with a nice smile and a partial nose. I've started doing these studies to really teach myself and practice how to look. As well as this, I've been studying colour mixing and trying to best match the colours from my source photo. So today I really feel that I need to talk about mindsets. This is an area that I personally have had lots of issues with most of my life. And still even now I have to work on to check in on what I am actually thinking about and how that affects me. Science teaches that we have a negative bias filter, which means we are looking for threats around us. This means that we view the whole world around us as a threat and in a negative way. There are therapies like CBT that can renew your neuro pathways, and you can unlearn and break neuro pathways and build new ones. One way of doing this is gratitude and being grateful for things. This helps to change our brain chemistry. These are all fairly modern teachings, but the Bible talked about this 2,000 plus years ago. Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I know this is true. I know that God has renewed my mind because I used to be a very pessimistic person and now I'm more optimistic. And it is the time God has spent with me to help me do this. Yes, I still have to check. Yes, I still have to trust. But we're going to look at that next. Romans 8:6. The mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace. If we are thinking constantly of our problems and the problems around us, we will be anxious and fearful and depressed. When we think of godly things, either scripture, God, or the good things in our lives, it lifts our spirit and helps us to be and feel more positive. When we can then count our blessings or positive things that have happened, we are generally happier. Isaiah 26:3. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. We find peace when we trust God over our problems and look to his goodness. Peter 5:7. Cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. All your anxieties. Give it to God. The problem many of us have is we so often take it back off God. There is a saying, worry is meditating on the wrong things, and all these scriptures point to that. When we are thinking about our problems, when we are thinking about the issues, we get stressed, we get anxious, everything becomes negative. When we think about the positive things, even if it's one positive thing that happened that day, and we meditate on that, and we trust God and we thank God that he gave that one positive thing, it makes us feel so much better and it helps us to move forward. And then the next day there might be two positive things that we can be thankful for and concentrate on. It's all about training our brains to think about what God is doing and the fact that he helps us through it. Philippians 4:6. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. This tells us not to be anxious, but to pray, to actually ask God with thanksgiving that we know that God will fulfill it. It means knowing we have a loving God who hears us and provides and helps us. So we ask knowing and with a thankful heart that God will fulfill that need. This verse tells us the kinds of things we should focus on our minds. Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Trust with all your heart. Stop overthinking. He will guide you. I know that I personally overthink. I try and work in my head how God's going to do it. It usually never works out the way that I think it might work out. But I know that God will do it. Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. The Lord, the creator of the universe, is with you wherever you go. That should give us confidence and hope and courage to walk without anxiety. And that is something that we need to take hold of so that we stop overthinking and trying to fix things for ourselves, because we have God with us, which is awesome. And therefore, why would we be anxious? Because God is bigger than every single one of our problems. Colossians 3:2. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. So you need to decide, you need to set your mind. It's about decision. I choose to think about God. I choose to believe what God has said to me, about what he wants me to do here. I am not going to listen to the insecurities and other people's comments and other things that are going on around me, because God has said this. 1 Corinthians 14:33. For God is not a God of confusion, but of peace. God does not bring confusion. He brings peace. When we give it to him and trust him, we should have peace. And this is something we need to check in ourselves each and every time we start overthinking or feeling anxious or feeling stressed. Now, as I said before, this is an area where God has really worked in me. I used to be a real pessimist. I said that I was a realist, but actually I was a pessimist. But now I'm more optimistic about life and things, and I can look for the positive in a situation. I can be calm in a stressful situation. I can pray, Lord, help me, I need your help here, and I can be at peace. I wouldn't say it's all the time, but it's a lot of the time. I do sometimes feel overwhelmed, and I have to just take a step back and ask the Lord to help me. And sometimes I need a little bit of space to do that. It's difficult when you have issues with the way you think, and it's difficult to break old habits, but it is possible. Science proves it is possible, but we have to work through on our journey with God at how to do it. These Bible verses explain how to do it beautifully. And we just have to take God for his word and trust him over them and allow him to do it in us. I know that I'm a long way from where I was 12 years ago, and I'm a long way from where I was 12 months ago. But I also know that I still have to check in. And when I'm overthinking, when I'm trying to control things, when I'm trying to work things out, and when I'm thinking negatively about something, I have to go back to God in prayer and just trust him and help him to take it away from me so that I have peace. I just have to give it to him and trust him and remind myself of these Bible verses, and it makes a big difference to how I feel at the time. Yeah, I might have to do it every day for a week. I might not have to do it for a month. It's just whatever's going on at the time. He's faithful in it though. Joyce Meyer wrote a book called The Battlefield of the Mind, and it's a great book to help you to understand this teaching. As we focus on what God says about us, about who he has made us and what he has put into us, and even more importantly, that the creator of the universe died for us because he loves us that much, all those negative thoughts and lies you've been fed your whole lives cannot contend with that fact. God loves you. He wants the best for you. He thinks you're beautiful and amazing and wants a close relationship with you. He hears and knows your prayers and heart. He supplies and is right with you. When we consider these thoughts, how can we hear the negative lies anymore? When we look for the positive in each day and let them take the shadow of the negative things, we are less burdened. Remember the gratitude. Personally, I journal, just listing the good things each day that God has done. There may be silly things I wrote down, especially if something hard happened, but I also ask God to show me where he was and how he helped me in that situation. So the right person there to help me at the exact right time. A friend's message of support and love when I needed encouragement. A timing that made the issue less of an issue, etc. I also refuse to allow others' negativity to attach to me and try to bring a bit of light and peace into those I come across. Understanding that others' annoyances and attitudes towards us is not usually about us, but comes from their hurt, can also help us to not take it so personally. Yes, horrible things happen in this world, and there are lots of horrid people around, but we are all made in the image of God, and we should be looking for him in others we meet, even if they are mean, impatient, rude, or worse. God does not want us to be confused, angry, or hurt. Taking offence and being unforgiving can damage us and keep us on those negative mindsets. They are a prison we do not want or need to be in, because Jesus died for our freedom so that we can live life abundantly in joy and peace. The way we think seriously affects how we feel. Mindsets like if anything is going to go wrong, it will, and all these things come in threes, and you're having a bad day, and even unlucky days like Friday the 13th. You are looking and waiting for the negative and focusing all your energy into that. So it is like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yes, we all have days that are far from our best, But if we say, I'm having a bad day, and focus on that, generally it will get worse. I had a morning not too long ago where literally everything I did just went wrong, and I was close to just giving up for the day. But I decided I would trust God, and my afternoon and evening were lovely. I could have missed out on that turnaround if I had focused on all that had gone wrong. We cause ourselves so much anxiety worrying about stuff like this. Yes, things go wrong. Or at this point, we reset, ask God to help us, and move forward. It might not all be perfect straight away or ever, but if we continually focus on that negative, we will get stuck there. This causes us mental and physical harm, illnesses which cause us more hurt and more trauma. God does not want this. He wants us to have peace and joy and a life abundant in Him. I really hope you've enjoyed this painting and this study on mindsets. I hope it has blessed you. God bless.